should have swapped these a long ass time ago. Way better. Yo, 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 yo. Is it running?
It's running.
Oh shit, okay. What's going on, y'all? It's Yeti from Yeti Machine Company. I'm sweating my balls off in my shop. It's hot out here. It's hot. It's hot and it's musty. There's no airflow in this shop. But I'm working on my 2002, I think I got it in 22. Yeah, 2022 Lowrider ST. Haven't done a lot to it. You guys may have seen some videos on this. I got a pinstripe. I put a Plex Audio stereo in it. I made these little fork caps. These are my own design. If you want to buy one, go to www.yetimachineko.com. Oh, and I gutted the baffles on the exhaust. That's it. Haven't done shit. I rode it to Texas. Hopefully you guys watched that video. That was a cool video. Oh, the RBW skull knob too. Did that too. So what we're doing today is I'm actually going to finally put on a set of risers that I've had for since I bought the thing. I got a set of Thrashin 9.5-inch risers. Second hand, because I'm a cheap. We're gonna throw these guys on there. I did have to buy the top clamp new because it had the original top clamp. And also, this past Father's Day, my wife bought me a bunch of stuff to finish up this conversion. So, FXR Division has a kit that is like a one purchase kit for you to do your bars and risers. Shout out to Gorilla Cables, Riverside baby, that's where they're from. They make a great product, and this is part of that FXR Division kit. The only thing that I had to buy separately was this doohickey from a company called Fat Baggers. I think it's called Fat Baggers. This is a clutch cable extension kit. I've never used one of these before, so I'm not exactly sure how it works, so we're gonna kind of figure that out as we go. It's pretty similar to any other bike you're gonna do risers on. Couple things. So I originally started filming this myself, and then I screwed up when I was filming, and so I didn't catch all the stuff that I did. But essentially all I've done so far is I got the gas tank off, I disconnected the Plex audio system. The only thing that's really important that you should know, this bike specifically has ABS. A lot of people get nervous with ABS brakes, like, oh, how do I bleed them? Do I need a special tool? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, the easiest thing you can do is on these bikes, you have on the left hand side of the bike, you have this main fuse block. Okay, in this main fuse block you have a 40 amp fuse that plugs in here. Before you start screwing with this thing, pull that fuse out and you don't got to worry about it. The biggest thing is you don't want to fire the bike up or power the bike up while there's no brake fluid in there. It's gonna probably give you an ABS code, and then I don't know what you got to do. I don't know these newer bikes all that well. I just know if I'm working on my own shit. So we're gonna go over the basics of doing the handlebars, and we're gonna go from there. What's going on, y'all? It's Yeti from Yeti Machine Company. If you're watching this, I appreciate you. If you do already subscribe to my page, awesome. If not, go subscribe, go give it a like. Also, just so you know, if you check out the link up top, got my website up there. I got shirts, I got hats, I got all kinds of cool stuff. So hit that up, get a shirt, support me. Thanks, y'all. All right, so first thing we're gonna do on this bike is actually we're going to drain the front brake system. Now you may wonder, well, why the hell would you drain the whole brake system? Well, number one, y'all should be flushing your brake system once a year. So what I'm going to do is actually pull with my little whatever the hell that thing's called, my Mighty Vac. I'm actually going to pull fluid all the way out of the master cylinder. What that's going to do is dry out the lines. On these brakes, you don't have to have this Mighty Vac. I'm just bougie and I've bled enough brakes to last a lifetime. You could do it, actually you don't even really need a buddy. You can probably do it by, hitting the brakes with one hand and cracking the bleeder with the left. This is just an easier way to do it, and I've got the tool, so I'm gonna use it. Now I've got enough followers where Amazon would actually let me be an Amazon influencer. So I have an Amazon store now. So I will have all the tools and stuff that I use that's available on Amazon on that store. So pay attention for that link. So as you can see, I've got no more brake fluid. The brake fluid's gone. So, go ahead and shut that off. Go ahead and lock down this bleeder, not too tight. All right, so now that I know that my brake system is dried, I can go ahead and disconnect the brake line. The other thing is that keeps you from making a mess. Now what's cool about the ST, even though it's dual disc, if we come down here to the neck portion, we can see that we have this junction block, but there's a connector that goes from here to the handlebars, to the master cylinder. That makes life way easier because we don't have to replace all these lines. We can just replace this one line because the only distance that's changing is from this metering block up to that master. So that makes my life a little easier. So I'm gonna crack this guy loose, and then we're gonna get into the clutch. It may drip a little bit, that's okay. .5 is not, it's not corrosive. A lot of people say, oh, you can just flush your fluid when it looks bad, but I mean, I don't know. I think once a year is not that big of a deal. And brake fluid is not super expensive, it just takes a little bit of work. Brakes are kind of important last time I checked, so it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and do them once a year. Next thing we're gonna do is come down on this side. These bikes, these M8 bikes, their clutch cable is way different than like the twin cam bikes. So you've got this whole contraption that basically just puts tension on the line via a spring. Now that Fat Baggers kit that we were just looking at, I'm assuming is basically replacing this mechanism. So I think the first thing I've got to do is pop this guy out. This is like a little keeper. Okay, let's see. I'm not exactly sure what I just did, but I was able to get this thing apart. Basically, the little ball sits down in there, so what you got to do is unclip it, compress the spring, clip it back up, then that gives you some slack in this part right here. So that allows you to push the ball from the lower part of the cable out of this clip and then slide the whole assembly apart. I wanted to just make sure everything was loose, and then we'll figure out the extension afterwards once I get the risers on, because it'll just make life easier. On these STs, you have handlebar wiring, gauge wiring, and then indicator light wiring. Now all of these pieces go down through this riser, through the bracket, and into this junction, which I already pulled apart off camera. Basically there's a rubber piece that clips in here that kind of covers everything, so just make sure you don't tear that or fuck that up. So we're gonna go ahead. I've got my main fuse removed, so I'm not worried about setting off any alarms or any codes or anything like that. We're just gonna go ahead and disconnect our shit. Make sure you kind of pay attention where stuff goes. This guy. This is right hand for the controls and for the throttle by wire. This connector, that's for our left side. There's that guy. There's that guy. There. All right, that's it. That's the wiring right there. So pretty straightforward, as long as you don't have big gorilla fingers. So we've got our wiring disconnected, we've got our brake line disconnected, and we've got our clutch cable disconnected. So pretty much all we got to do now is remove the risers out of the system and put the new ones in. So on these bars, on this bike specifically, because I put the Plex audio in there, that's where the mounts for the Plex system are the actual handlebar riser mounts. So. We might. Damn. Not a lot of room in there, but you can manage without taking the fairing off. What I'm actually going to do is take the top cap off first. That'll allow me to kind of pull the bars out of the way, work on getting the risers in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Clutch cable and all. Whoop. Set that over here out of the way. On the ST, this is the only gauge that you have. This little guy and these indicator lights. On the back side of the riser, you got these 4 Torx bits. Gotta take those out and transfer this over to the new top clamp on the riser. Little tiny Torx bits. Oh, it's fucking hot. I'm such a bitch with the weather. I'm either crying that it's cold or crying that it's fucking hot, dude. I hate it. I wonder if I gotta put the gasket in first. Maybe I'll just spit on that thing. That girl just hit 1 million fucking followers in like 3 days of being on social media.
You know she has a whole team trying to capitalize.
I know. Good for her.
It's gonna make her her career off of it, like Cash Me Outside girl.
Yeah, hey, beats the shit out of sweating your fucking nuts off in a goddamn hot ass motorcycle shop all day. I tell you what, I wish somebody would pay for my fucking butthole pictures, but nobody wants to see that. Somebody said something to that girl about like doing OnlyFans, and she was like, "I'll never do OnlyFans." And I was like, "Hell yeah, sister." God damn it, my hands are all fucking sweaty. God damn it, dude. I'm gonna start filming these at night. So these are the plugs that I was talking about. I have them for sale on my website. They're pretty simple. They're just little 3D printed out of PETG. They're little dust caps. What that does is keeps a bunch of crap from getting inside this socket, so that when you go to rebuild your forks, you don't have to worry about scratching this up, cleaning anything, or any kind of crap getting packed in there. And I think they look cool. But if these are interesting to you, hit up my website. They're like, I think I have them for sale for like 10 bucks for a set. And that's shipped. So, or maybe it's 15, I don't know, but they're cheap. Either way, check out my website. Okay. These are in good shape, but we're not going to reuse them. FXR Division makes a set of the stiffer ones. So, just for comparison, so you can kind of see. My wife's gonna yell at me for that. She gets so mad when I open shit with my teeth. Alright, so you have your factory rubber. See how squishy that is? And you have these urethane ones. See how much stiffer these are? The longer the bar, the taller the bar, the more leverage you have, right? And so you're gonna put more stress and strain on these riser bushings. So my advice to everybody when they ask me, which nobody really ever asks me, is when you're replacing your risers with anything that's taller than factory, go ahead and get new riser bushings. Good and Tight is a great product. FXR Division sells these black ones, and you know, they're pretty straightforward. I went down to good old McFadendale down the street here in good old Corona and got new grade 8 hardware. They say you can use grade 5, but cheap insurance. Now you're gonna say, oh my God, that bolt's too short. It looks too short because I've got 2 washers on there, and I'm gonna use that bolt to actually press the bushing into the dealio. I can't fucking think straight right now. Now, temporarily, all right. Dude, that's way better. So we got our risers on there. I don't have everything cranked all the way down, but as you can see, our brake line is nowhere near long enough. So the one we've got is about 6 inches longer, which will put us right in about the stock area. Then we've got all of our extension wiring that goes on the end of these. Luckily, all the extensions will get hid down by the frame. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's way better. So I can actually like, dude, that's perfect. That's exactly how I wanted it to feel. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll take it. All right, well, now the only thing that's left is everything else. Just to compare, this is our stock riser. So you can kind of see how much taller our bars are now, and there's also a bit more pullback. It feels much better. I mean, I don't have it tightened down all the way yet because I still got to put the plex in, but man, I could have really used these when I went to Texas, because when I was going to Texas, my back kept hurting because I was leaning forward, you know, like this. But I mean, I'm not super tall. I'm 6'2", but with the risers, my back is in a straight up position. I can kind of lean back, and this is really comfortable. So. So now, what's really nice about these extension kits from Gorilla Cables is they pretty much just plug into the factory deal, and you're good to go. All right, so I think this brake line is going to be really close, like if it works or not. This kit doesn't give you a lot of slack in the brake line, which, I mean, I get it, but yeah, no, it's like the exact right length. So I went to go do the brakes, ran into a little bit of a problem. This fitting that I need to disconnect is a little tight for my wrench. It was just kind of slipping it. Now, a smart man would have had a set of fitting wrenches on hand, but I don't. So I need to get a set of those. I'll be able to finish up the brakes. I'm also missing what looks to be the indicator light extension harness. I don't know if my wife ordered it wrong or if I sent her the wrong link, which is probably more accurate because I've been known to be a dummy. But we're gonna continue on when we get this right shit. All right, well, we're back on the Yeti cam. It's a new day, had to pick up some stuff. Went over to Gorilla Cables in Riverside. Shout out to Jose over at Gorilla Cables, hooked me up, awesome dude. I actually needed to get the extension harness, plugs into the back of the gauge right here, and then goes down into the wiring. Didn't come with the kit, and the guys over at FXR Division explained to me a lot of people run different gauges, so that's why they don't include it. But anyways, got the wires all hooked up. I got my new brake line in. Brake line was the right length. So basically all you got to do is disconnect it from this little split block, the original line, wherever the hell oh, here it is. So you take your original line off, pop in this little adapter here, and then you run your new line all the way up here. So pretty straightforward. So now what I got to do is just do some cleanup and some wire management. We'll get this thing dialed. Put that Fat Baggers that extension on there. Pretty clean. I was a little worried this was going to be too big and ugly. Yeah, pretty straightforward install on these things. It's basically just a little extension housing that pops into, actually it's down here, it pops into the OG, and then you adjust your clutch the same way. So I don't know, I may end up just switching to a longer upper clutch cable down the line. We'll see what happens, but for now this will work pretty good. We got all the wires tucked into the neck, got that rubber boot back on, popped in the plex. Now the way this thing mounts is on the actual handlebar bolts. So what I did is I put a washer above and below, but I think it looks really good. I like the way it's sitting and it's all mounted up. So the next thing I got to do is I'm going to use my power bleeder, bleed the brake lines again, and put the tank back on, and that should be it. I didn't film the last part. I got a little bit too excited. Actually, yeah. Anyways, so got the tank back on, able to bleed the brakes. Everything's good to go. That's insanely more comfortable than the stockers, man. I should have swapped these a long ass time ago. Way better. Hell yeah, that's way better. Way better. Time for a green monster. What's up, bums? Woo! And yes, I know this is, I'm not a huge fan of the way these wires are ran, but I didn't want to have to go through the handlebars and try to stuff extra wires in the handlebars. I might change that later, but yeah, I think it's a whole new fucking bike. It's completely and totally just better. I dig it. I dig it a lot. So anyways, if you guys like watching this one, do me a favor, go ahead and like this video, give me a subscribe, go follow me on all social media. It's at Yeti Machine Co. Check out my website. I've got shirts and hats and all kinds of cool shit. So yeah, thanks y'all.